I just realized this computer doesn't have a DVD player. So I guess there's one thing it's lacking. So I had to put the installer onto a USB drive instead. And I don't know if this one's USB 3 or not, but I'll plug it into the USB 3 port. I don't like these things. I much prefer a CD. Anyways, this is what we're working with. Okay, let's get this opened up. And I'm not sure what the keystroke is to interrupt normal startup on one of these. Well, obviously it's not. Don't need to tell me a million times. May have to ask the Googles on this one. Okay, we're going to try F11 and this assist button. What's wrong with me today? Nope, that didn't work. Oh, well, this thing's not plugged in. Although I'm not sure that was the problem. Nope, that still didn't do anything. Seemed like it was trying something there for a minute. Okay, well, the battery works. Maybe this port is bad. Let's try one of the ones on the other side. This is ridiculous. Well, the fan is running, but I don't see anything happening. There we go. Okay, now we got somewhere. Let's see, to start from media, USB optical disc, F11. F11. And of course now that it's working, the USB disc is no longer plugged into the USB 3 port. Also looks like it's just plain not going to work. Oh, there it goes. I'm not really sure what version of Windows this came with. I suspect it probably came with Home. So I'm going to install Home. Oh, this is really slow. I'll go with Home and let's see what happens. If it doesn't license, it doesn't license. We'll just install something else.
A little sign in here.
The moron is on the screen.
And we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
Stupid Cortanas.
Use your voice or the keyboard along the way. And if you'd
You're
like
dumb.
to stay
Shut
quiet,
up.
just select the little microphone icon towards the bottom of your screen. If you need an assistive screen reader, press the Windows, Control,
pressing
and
it, but
Enter
it's not
keys
turning
at the
it
same
off.
time
There
to
it
turn on
goes.
narrator. Okay, enough intro.
Yeah,
Let's do
more than enough. Okay. And now of course the volume is on the screen. There it goes. Oh. Okay, I had for the longest time an Ethernet cord somewhere over here. Now I seem to have put it elsewhere. Oh, it's right here. Well, this isn't the one I was thinking of, but this one will certainly work. It's kind of long for the application though. Now, I usually say, it's still talking, a lot of times I'll leave this undone and I'll say I don't have internet, and it skips a lot of the garbage that it tries to apply. Don't need a password in this case. Now that we're past that account stage, I'll put this back in, so hopefully it'll download the drivers. Decline that. And I always turn all this off, but I tend to think they're still capturing it anyways. This mouse track kind of stinks. Hopefully it'll get better once the driver is installed. She's still talking. And we gotta go through this garbage. Hi, computer. We. Who is? Well, it will take several minutes. Looks like it's up to the desktop now. So the first thing I want to check and see is, did it activate itself? Because if it didn't activate, then we've got to start all over again. There's no point in doing anything further. This mouse track is awful. And of course, because it's building the profile and looking for drivers, I think the resources are probably at or near 100% utilization. Yes, they are. It has a Radeon's AMD APU. I never really liked those. Activation settings. See if Windows is activated. Okay, it is in fact activated with the Digitan license. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, so now that we know the activation is going to work, I will eject my installer. And I'll just let it sit here for some time and do the updates. This is saying 3 minutes to a full charge. I'm not buying that. You know, maybe what I'll do is I'll just do the Windows. I shouldn't open this stupid thing. Daggone edges of annoyance. I think I'll just download the update assistant and let it get itself up to date, because this imaging USB thing that I have is pretty old. That's fine. Take all my data, look at all my browsing history, whatever. VAIOs. I hate computers sometimes. Now I want to show something very annoying that MicroHard does when you go to their website on a browser other than Edges of Annoyance. I'm going to click this here, it's going to load up, and then I'm going to click on a link here on the website, and watch what it does. Say I go to click here, it just moved the page down and put edges up there at the top. That's infuriating that it does that. Now the screen is flashing because it's installing the display driver. So I'll download this update assistance, and then that should take care of most of the updates in one shot. As much as I abhor Windows 10, this is one of those very few things that I kind of like about it, or at least find useful. Because I think this is probably on 1809 or whatever version it is. It's probably not worth the time to check, but I'll check just out of curiosity. Time zone is not correct. It's not 4:45, it's 7:45. It's running a security scan on something that came from itself, and that's incredible. Looks like the display driver got installed. The screen is much more fluid now. Okay, so this is running 1903, so actually it's not anywhere as near as old as I thought it was, but it still isn't current, so we'll fix that. Now if this was a machine I was going to use for myself, I wouldn't bother with that nonsense. Probably would have left it on Windows 7 if not Windows 8, but when I give stuff out to other people, I usually put it up to what's current so that there's no problems. So that's that. This will... No, I say this so there's no problems. That's not correct, because we'll probably have more problems with this computer now that it has this versus if it has Windows 7, but I meant like compatibility problems with the web browser and things like that, because as much as I hate it, reality is that Windows 7 is in borrowed time at this point, and while it's still working for everything I need it to do, I know there's going to come a time sooner or later, but that's not the case. So unfortunately, we'll just have to face Windows 10 or move on to a Linux or something else. So I'll let this do its thing and we'll come back when it's done. Looks like this has finished installing, and we have something here that we got to set up. Video quality features supported for applications for improved video playback on third-party video players. I don't know what this is, but we'll go for it. Okay, we'll get out of here. Maybe later, but really like never, because it's stupid and annoying. Let's see if that's fine. Apply. We'll just do the defaults. Okay. Alright, let's see if the resources have calmed down a bit. Nope, doesn't look like it. It probably is doing more updates, would be my guess. And see, they put all this bloatware in there, which nobody wants in here. You got all these, I guess these are games and all this other stuff. This fake Office. None of this stuff should be on there. The battery, it does look like it's working just fine. It's got 90% charged up, and I think it's still charging. This is 1 minute until fully charged. That I don't believe, but we'll unplug it. It works. So that should be fine. So what I'll do here is we're going to go into the updates, and we'll push the rest of these updates through, and then that will be it for this one. Oh, it looks like there are none. Well then why is the processor like that? Oh, it's doing this optimization thing. So this is all system stuff it's doing that. Add that to the list of reasons why I don't like the Windows 10. Well, that's fine. I'll just let that sit for a little while and kind of figure itself out. And then it should be ready to go. Okay, it's the next day. It did end up having 2 more batches of updates to come through. They just weren't showing up in the settings thing for whatever reason. Anyway, so I'm going to turn this off. You can see it's idling pretty normally now. I'm going to close it out, turn it off, and we're going to start it up from off so that we can see how long it takes to get going. So here we go. Turn it on now. Was it not off? There we go. Now it's on. And it should not take this long to initialize with all solid state hardware. And it's not ready to go yet. I'm clicking. There we go. Now it's coming up. So the problem here, and this is one of my biggest irritations with this operating system, is that it comes with bloatware, and it comes in a fully bloated state. If we go in the start menu here, it's got all this software on here which hardly anybody will ever use. I certainly didn't put it on there, and it's all kind of launching in the background and wasting resources. Windows never used to be like this. Years ago, I remember it was a lot of the consumer grade, home user computers like the Dell Inspirons, Toshibas, HPs, they would all come with bloatware on the factory image. And they'd come into the shop and, the thing's so slow. And it was just because there was so much junk in the computer, different programs, and all running in the startup sequence. And the classic fix was to just reinstall the operating system, because then it would be clean with no bloatware. Now, you reinstall the operating system, and it's got even more bloatware than it did before. And so what I always do when I get these stupid Windows 10 situations come in here, I go in here and I uninstall all of the stuff that comes with it that nobody really wants. So we go into, where is it here? Apps, because we can't call it software anymore, or programs like it used to be. And we're going to go down this list here, and you're going to see that there's 47 apps, 47 programs. We're going to call them programs because that's what they are. 47 programs on a clean installation of Windows. That is ridiculous. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to uninstall all of these programs. So that alone cut it down to 25 apps. Now that's not all of them. We're going to go into the start menu here, and I'm going to uninstall this stuff that's in here because this doesn't show up in that apps thing. This is just insane. I can't believe how deplorable, poorly written, bloated Windows has become over the years. You would never have this kind of a problem with Windows 7, with Windows XP, with Windows 2000. Even Windows Vista wasn't this annoying. Looks like I can't even uninstall this one. I don't even know what this is. Well, we'll just unpin it and hope for the best. These are productivity. That's ironic. What's productive about having to uninstall this garbage when you get a new computer or you reinstall the operating system? Alright, so I think that got rid of most of the junk apps on there. Now let's take a look at the startup sequence. Nope, get out of there. Close. We'll look in the task manager instead. Okay, so actually that's not so bad. We'll take that out of there because we don't need that. And then those two things, I guess they can run. That's fine. Okay, so now actually we can look in this startup tab as well. It's the same thing. Okay. There's a couple of other things that I usually turn off as well in effort to preserve some of the CPU resources. I think there's several in personalization that we can turn off. It's a lock screen here. Windows Spotlight can go away. We don't need that. It can just be a picture. We don't need fun facts. I just want to use the computer. We don't need that on either. And then let's see here. If we go under Updates, let's see what we got under here. Don't think there's anything that will do much in there. Privacy, we don't want any of this stuff on. Not only is it an invasion of personal privacy, it's just using up resources. Something else I was looking for as well. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go into Internet Explorer because I absolutely refuse to use MicroHard Edge, and we'll download Google's Chrome. And that's correct, I don't have gigabit internet connectivity here, so the internet takes a couple of seconds to load up the pages. Oh well. Oh, that's what I want. I want to turn stinking Cortana off because she's annoying. Oh, is she already gone? Good. Whoops. Turn this off too because this is kind of an annoying feature. Okay, we'll pin this to the taskbar. And then I'm going to go back in here. We're going to set that as the default. I also like to change the scroll bars so they don't disappear because it does it for some reason. I don't know why they think you don't need to scroll anymore. Let's see here. Here we go. Hide scroll bars. And we're going to turn that off. So now we can scroll a little bit easier. Okay, so with all that done, what's all this stuff down here? Meet now. What is that? Now the bloatware, always running in my taskbar. What a joke. And that thing annoys me too. Let's turn that off. Okay. Alright, and then lastly, let's check in the device manager to make sure that everything, all the devices are got drivers. Looks like we have 2 missing drivers. I wonder what they're for. Let's see if the web works. Okay, so it's not for the Webra. Could be maybe for the card reader? No, because isn't that's the I don't know. I don't know what those are. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so let's turn this off. And let's see if it works a little better now. Okay, it's off. Just power it back on. And it's already ready to go. So it does work a fair bit better without all that junk on there. The only thing that we have to do still is fix the time zone. We are in the Eastern time zone. Okay. So I think that's all for the Sony computer. I'll give this back to the person and maybe somebody will get some use out of it.